Checking in with the Rotten Tomatoes She-Hulk scores, and as you can see, they're changing again. I really am starting to wonder if Rotten Tomatoes is pulling some shenanigans with these scores, particularly with the audience score, which was in the 60s yesterday. Now it's up to 71%. The critics score keeps dropping. I'm really shocked that people aren't trying to inflate it. It's crazy to see it fall. I wonder if it'll hit 70, somewhere in the 70s. It could happen. It could happen. And it'd be funny to watch it happen. But the audience score, this one's more interesting right now because I believe that was in the 60s yesterday. Now it's in the 70s. So Rotten Tomatoes may be up to something. I don't know. We'll keep watching it. But a lot of the reception for this show among fans and audiences hasn't been that good, particularly because the show is feminist cringe. Very, very feminist show. In fact, so feminist that they changed the origin. This is the reason that I have refused to watch the show. I knew it was going to be bad the moment that this was announced, or at least shown to the public on how she became She-Hulk. She gets in a car wreck, and she gets a cut on her arm, and Bruce Banner's blood gets into that. A drop of it, actually. Not even that much, which that doesn't make any sense. Now, in the comics, she got a blood transfusion, which makes sense. He had no choice. She got shot. So he had to go in there and give her an emergency blood transfusion because it was either that or she was going to die. Okay, so that makes sense, and it's a good origin, and it works, but not today's world. Today we have the Bechdel test, a very feminist test that all Marvel shows and movies must abide by. So because of that, they had to get into a car wreck, and she saves him. He gets all messed up. So it's just it's such a mess, and it's such a dumb change to a good origin. Now, they've actually came out and done some damage control for this and explained why they've decided to do what they did. So the head writer of She-Hulk went to Gizmodo's IO9, which nobody's going to read because nobody gives a shit about Gizmodo. But I'm sure they're counting on all of us to read it, and they think that we're just going to go along and say that this is great, and it's not. So the reason to why they decided to change this is because Marvel didn't want it to be a mob hit. They didn't want her to get shot by a mobster. So for some reason, they took that as her getting a cut and him infecting her, which makes no sense. So let me read you what was said. First, the head honchos at Marvel specifically didn't want it to be a mob hit, Gao told the outlet's senior entertainment reporter. It just didn't feel like it fit with everything. On a more personal level, Gao noted that she supported the origin change because for me, having watched this Bruce Banner, this Hulk, through all the years and all the different MCU movies, it just felt like we saw him be really tortured by this. Did you not read the comics? What? Okay. This was not a gift, she argued. He really saw it as a curse. It forced him to not have any relationships. He spent several years really tortured by it and not viewing it as a good thing. And it took him that long to get to a place where he can just accept it and learn to live with it. So to me, it didn't make sense for the guy to then willingly give this curse to somebody that he cares about. His cousin, who he really loves, it just didn't seem right and true to the character, and it didn't make sense to me, so I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to spend half an hour or so, and this is about the mob story. They didn't want to have to explain it, and that's fine. You don't have to do the mob stuff. You didn't have to do the mob stuff. First off, it's not a gift. He didn't see it for a gift here. He saw it as, well, I got to do this or she's going to die. How does that not really, that's him loving his family and his cousin, okay? So that's stupid and doesn't fly. This is awful damage control. because this isn't him giving a curse. It's like, okay, well, she's going to die if I don't do it. Like, you could have easily still done the car wreck and have her, like, lose a bunch of blood, and he gives her an emergency transfusion right there and then. Done. Origin still intact. I mean, no one would have complained about that. No one would have complained about that. But the stupid little drop of blood thing is dumb. Dumb. Okay, and it continues on. And also, the nature of making it an accident takes a lot of the pressure off of the guilt that Bruce would feel having given this to Jennifer, because in the show, we really see how she struggles with it, and how she also, like him, doesn't really feel it is as a gift at first, she concluded. So I think that would really change their dynamic if he was completely responsible and that he made the choice for her. So there's no more need to go into it. They still had a good relationship, by the way. It's just ridiculous. And this is poor damage control, because it doesn't change my opinion of anything here. The show is still shit. The show is still shit. Your writers suck. And and you know what's funny is the people that wrote this will probably move to another Marvel project. Another example of failing upward. Because I don't think they really care. Disney Plus subscriptions are on the rise. And the Disney theme parks are pulling in tons of money. So they're just going to keep cranking out bullshit like this until numbers drop. And then they'll reevaluate what's going on. I do wonder. So Miss Marvel, nobody watched it. We've seen the ratings for that. I really can't wait to see what the ratings for this will be. How are the first 4 episodes of She-Hulk going to rank? When those drop, and if they're as bad as Miss Marvel, that's going to be glorious. Now, She-Hulk's a little bit more of a popular character than Miss Marvel, so I think it'll still do better than that show, but I'm going to put it like somewhere between Hawkeye and Miss Marvel. I don't think it'll be a top-rated show. We'll have to wait and see, but I'm excited about them. Samba TV will put out the numbers eventually, and that's going to be pretty fun to go over. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think. Also, if you would, please like, subscribe, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed. Hit that notification bell, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace. Make sure to check out my locals. There's a link in the description. It's a fun community that I'm trying to build over here. If you don't want to support me on YouTube, you can come over here. None of that money goes to YouTube. You also can just come over here for free. But if you are a supporter over here, I do plan on doing an extra live stream once a month and throwing links to the supporters so you can actually come on and have a supporter live stream with me. Also, it's a good place to catch all of my content. You don't have to worry about notifications like YouTube. They'll definitely work over here. So come check out my locals. Also, if you want to help support the channel, check out my Teespring store. There's a link in the description. You can find some merchandise in there that you might want to check out. Also, make sure to follow me over on Twitch. I do watch parties, play video games over there. They're always fun. Follow me over there and come hang out. Also, make sure you subscribe to YellowFlash, my other channel. There's a link to that in the description as well. I do a lot of live streams over there that I don't do on this channel. Usually smaller and a little bit more personal. So make sure you follow me over there and sign up.